Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Fill PCI SAQs yourself, and today we are going to talk about requirement 11. So it's basically about testing the security of systems and networks regularly. Okay, now um, you know it it basically starts off with external and internal vulnerability scanning. So as you can see here, external vulnerability scans should be performed at least every 3 months. So you would need to have it on a quarterly basis by a PCI SSC approved scanning vendor. And where you can check this is basically, so if you go to Google and if you PCI SSC, if you type in PCI SSC and if you go to their website, you can go to PCI qualified professionals and you can go to approved scanning vendors. Okay, so here you can basically depending on your country. So if you have United Kingdom, for example, and then if you have if you like are okay with choosing the region of the business, you can just get like you can basically check all of the vendors that are operating in that country that you can utilize, which you can utilize basically in order to perform your scanning services for external vulnerabilities. And please note that this is mandatory, so you'll have to kind of spend money on this, and you'll have to mandatorily only select a vendor from this list. So one has to be approved scanning vendor. That's why the name approved scanning vendor. Okay. So vulnerability are resolved, and ASV program guide requirements for a passing scanner met. Rescans are performed as needed to confirm that vulnerabilities are resolved as per the ASV program. So yeah, in a nutshell, you'll just have to make sure that once you receive the ASV scan report, so basically you'll hire an external third-party vendor, which is called as a PCI SSC ASV. They'll get access to your environment. They'll ask for your IP addresses, your URL of the website, etc. And you'll procure their you'll basically procure their services, and so then they'll run scans, which will identify hopefully some meaningful like vulnerabilities, and then your team will have to remediate all of those vulnerabilities. Please note that typically vendors, they don't get into they don't get their hands on with remediating vulnerabilities on your system. So whatever is found on your systems will have to be remediated by you or your team. Okay. So there is there are some applicability notes here. You can have a look, but there's like an ASV program guide. If you want to go dive deep, you can also basically search it in the website. So whatever you need, you search it in the website, and it'll spit that out, so you can see there ASV program guide, and you can just it's, yeah, I mean, I think I've given you the bottom line, but feel free to read this if you want. Okay, and so external vulnerability scans are performed after significant change as follows. So vulnerabilities that are scored 4.0 or higher by the CVSS are resolved. Rescans are conducted. Scans are performed by qualified personnel, and organizational independence of the tester exists. So now this one is important. So PCI SSC does not mention what a significant change necessarily is. That could be, let's say, a change of your cloud provider from Azure to GCP, or a change of a major kind of, database, etc. So if your environment undergoes any of that, you'll need to conduct external vulnerability scans, and typically the reports will contain CVSS scores, but you can feel free to Google what so common vulnerability scoring system means, and you can get an idea if you just Google CVSS scores. Yeah, but the vendor reports will basically just show you your the CVSS scores. So what it's saying is that any vulnerability identified in the report, if they're scored 4.0 or higher, you'll have to basically remediate those, and then run rescans until those are passed in the scans, basically. It can be performed by somebody within your organization. Does not require to that personnel does not need to be a QSA, qualified security assessor, or an approved scanning vendor. Okay. Now, this one is slightly different from the vulnerability management. So this one is unauthorized changes on payment pages are detected and responded to. That's the intent of it. So this is applicable for a merchant's website that includes a payment processor's embedded payment page or form. For example, so let's say you're utilizing Stripe or any of the other third-party payment processors. If they have embedded a payment page or form within your website that collects credit card data, so you'll have to basically follow all of this. Typically, if you utilize a payment service processor, you will need to check with them that they have all of this. So you'll need to basically collect their attestation of compliance, their PCI DSS certificate. I have not come across kind of a small company for which this has been applicable. So they mostly check this on the third-party payment service provider settings. Okay, but then if you do have let's say your own payment page, right, you will have to kind of make sure that change and tamper detection mechanism, also called as a hashing mechanism, is deployed to alert personnel to unauthorized modifications to the HTTP headers and the contents of payment pages as received by the consumer browser. And you can see here the mechanism is configured to evaluate the received HTTP header and payment page. This is almost always done by the PSP. So you should have a conversation with your PSP and just make sure that you can put all of these as check marks. So you can basically check all of these items. Okay. So I think that's it. I would like to go through like the applicability notes of this one. So this is important, I think, for if you're undergoing initial if you're undergoing PCI DSS compliance for the first time. It is not required that 4 passing scans be completed within 12 months. If the assessor verifies that the most recent scan was a passing scan, the entity has documented policies and procedures requiring scanning at least every 3 months. First of all, you need to prepare the policy anyways. Again, you can use ChatGPT to create the policy, that should mention that you'll do it on a quarterly basis, and if your most recent scan was a passing scan, that is that is kind of, it either had vulnerabilities which were remediated and then a rescan ran, and then a rescan was run to correct, to remediate all those vulnerabilities, and ultimately you receive the passing scan. Okay. However, for subsequent years, passing scans at least every 3 months must have occurred. Okay. More details could be checked on the ASV program guide. And then there are some applicability notes here as well. Sorry. I wanted to just talk about this as well. The intent of this requirement is not that an entity installs software in the systems or browsers of its consumers, rather that the entity uses techniques such as those described under examples in the PCI DSS guidance column to prevent and detect unexpected script activity. So basically your web browser should also have these controls implemented. Not your web browser, your web page of your website should have these controls implemented along with the TSP, along with the payment processor settings. But this is almost always managed by the payment processor, so you can get in touch with them to check how they manage this. But yeah, so when they mention PCI DSS guidance column of expected testing requirement and testing procedures, I don't believe there's a separate document. Yeah, this is, they're basically talking about this. But this is the testing procedure, right? Expected testing. Now, there's a completion guidance here. If a merchant uses URL redirects, where the merchant hosts the page on their website that provides the address of the TPM of the third-party payment processor's payment page to the merchant customers, the merchant marks this requirement as not applicable and completes Appendix C. Explanation of requirements is not. Yeah, so this is typically, in my in my experience, I've seen this. So if you have a website and if somebody is visiting your website, and the moment they would like to basically make a transaction, that process redirects the URL from your website to the third-party payment processor's page or form, okay, to your customers, then this is not applicable for you, and the third-party payment processor takes care of that entirely. But if you do not have URL redirect, you need to do this, and this will be taken care of by your developers, obviously. So you'll need to check with them. That's it for this requirement, and you can just sample check like ASV scans sample, maybe PDF sample, I don't know. Approved ASV scanning. No, I just wanted to show a sample report. Yeah, sample PDF. No, it seems like somebody has posted. Yeah, so this is just this is just an executive summary, but then you get a detailed report as well, like showing exactly for which URL and for which IP address does the vulnerabilities exist, including remediation suggestions as well. So I think once you procure your ASV vendors services, they'll scan and you'll get the report basically. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like my if you like these videos, please do not forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm trying to grow my channel in order to reach more people who I can more companies, more people who I can help with filling in the SAQs without the help of a consultant. For some things you'll have to pay for. There's for the ASV scanning, because that's a PCI requirement. But other than that, self-assessment questionnaires are meant to be filled yourself. So you do not need to necessarily need expert PCI consultants for that. And I'm trying to help you there. Thank you so much again. In the next video, I'll touch upon information security policies and third party service providers, risk management, that type of thing. Thanks again. Have a marvelous rest of the day ahead. Bye.